assets were frozen. Chaotic, and it felt very surreal.
Up to $250,000 will be reimbursed by the FDIC. The rest that people have in there will come from a pool of money paid into by Wall Street banks. President Biden today expected to sign an executive order increasing background checks for online gun purchases. Former President Trump in Iowa last night.
Trump took aim at Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, widely expected to be his toughest opponent for the nomination, attacking DeSantis' position on Social Security and farm issues. While en route to Iowa, Trump was asked if he regrets endorsing DeSantis in Florida back in 2018. Trump was quoted responding, "Yeah, maybe. This guy was dead. He was dead as a doornail." A spokesman for DeSantis did not respond to a request for comment.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert. The weather causing problems for people on both coasts. ABC's Rhiannon Alley with more on what's happening in the east.
A nor'easter taking aim this morning could dump 30 inches of snow in interior New York State and New England. New York's governor mobilizing the National Guard. The biggest worry? High winds and power outages. Some 8,000 utility workers already on standby. Coastal flooding also a concern.
In the west, another atmospheric river is hitting California. Carla Loreto in Monterey County says it'll affect this season's crops.
The fields is flooding right now. Probably is no job right now. Probably for this year, probably no strawberry, no berries, and the blackberries and the blueberries.
China reopening its borders to tourists and resuming issuing of visas after a 3-year halt during the pandemic. This is ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Facing a grand jury, the one-time fixer for former President Trump.
The prosecution's star witness, Trump's former lawyer and chief fixer, Michael Cohen, testifying for 3 hours before a Manhattan grand jury. The grand jury hearing evidence about Trump's hush payment to porn actress Stormy Daniels. Cohen wrote the $130,000 check a month before the 2016 election and says the money violated campaign finance laws. Prosecutors are considering whether Trump falsified business records by allegedly disguising the hush money as a routine legal expense.
That's ABC's Aaron Katursky. A new lawsuit against one of the biggest pharmacy chains in the country and its possible role in the opioid crisis.
A complaint filed Monday by the Department of Justice bolsters a lawsuit against Rite Aid brought by 3 former co-workers turned whistleblowers, which alleges between 2014 and 2019, the company filled hundreds of thousands of unlawful prescriptions knowingly that fueled the opioid crisis nationwide. The lawsuit alleging that in some cases prescriptions were signed off even when pharmacists identified prescribers as having written illegitimate prescriptions previously. Dave Packer, ABC News.
And Lunchables on the lunch menu in a lot of schools. The ready-to-eat meals getting the okay to be available in school lunchrooms starting this fall. They'll be indifferent from the ones that are available in stores. They had to go through some changes in order to meet federal nutrition guidelines. This is ABC News.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-208-1312 for a free consultation. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Total Financial Freedom now. 800-208-1312. Call now.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Does that old tractor or lawnmower have more electrical tape or duct tape holding it together than you want to admit? Well, maybe it's time to see Phil Sheehan and his staff at NC Tractor for a new Massey Ferguson tractor or mower. Massey Ferguson is a company that's been around for over 175 years. That says a lot about a company. And paired with Phil Sheehan, who's been in business for over 25 years, that says a lot about his Phil and his staff. Knowledgeable about their product, and they stand by. They'll be there after the sale. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
We are going to see our temperatures climb into the mid-40s and mid-50s for today. Feeling a little bit cooler due to those strong gusty winds moving in out of the northwest. We can see them gust up to 30 miles per hour at times, and that, coupled with low relative humidity, could increase the fire danger risk today. Tonight, leading into tomorrow morning, a freeze warning is in effect. Temperatures expected in the mid-20s and lower 30s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, it is looking a little bit brighter toward the weekend. On Friday, highs be near 63, and the wind's dying down a little bit after tomorrow. Tomorrow's wind chill, about not too bad. 7 miles per hour tomorrow. Not bad. Highs near 58. Right now, though, we are still under that winter weather warning, freeze warning for us. We're 28 degrees, getting up to about 47. With wind gusts as high as 27 degrees today. So that's where we're standing with our weather forecast. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. I have these death announcements this morning. Vicki Beckham McSwain, 69, of Rutherfordton, died Tuesday. Those services will be held in Washburn, and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services is serving the family and in charge of the cremation for Vicki Beckham McSwain. Janice Probst Scoggins, 64, of Golden Valley, died Friday, March 10th. The funeral will be conducted at 4 o'clock this evening at Golden Valley Church. The visitation will be from 2 until 3:45 today at the church prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Janice Probst Scoggins. Joseph Joey Ernest Sims, 63, passed away Monday, March 6th at his home under hospice of the Carolina foothills. Friends and family are welcome to attend a celebration of life service to be held 3:30 until 4:30 Thursday, March 16th at Robert Morgan Rutherford Chapel on Fairhope Street, 40 City. Robert Morgan is honored to serve the family of Joseph Joey Ernest Sims. Russell Ernest Tobin, age 84, of 40 City, died Wednesday, March the 8th. The Mass of Christian burial will be held at 12 o'clock noon on Thursday, March 16th at Immaculate Conception Roman Catholic Church. Recitation of the Holy Rosary will be at 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, March 15th in the Pageant in King Chapel. Visitation will follow the Rosary at the mortuary. Burial will be at a later date in the North Cemetery in Berlin, Massachusetts. The Pageant at King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Russell Ernest Tobin. Herb John Ackroyd, age 72, passed away Tuesday, February the 21st at Mission Hospital in Nashville. A celebration of life service will be held Sunday, March the 19th at McMahon's Funeral Home. And McMahon's Funeral Home is in charge of the service, and the family will greet friends after the burial. Herbert's remains will be buried at the First United Methodist Church Prayer Garden. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Service serving the family of Herb John Ackroyd. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For complete information on these and others as they become available to us, you can hear those this morning at 11:30 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon Call Around the County newscast. Be sure to join us throughout today. Today, if you like classic oldies from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, we have them for you. And right after 9:30 this morning, we'll get back into the vault and pull out some more great music. We may have a little touch of that between 7:45 and 8 o'clock this morning, too. So hang around. See what your favorite songs will be played during the classic oldies time here on WCAB in Rutherfordton. Bill O'Reilly Morning Update will be forthcoming. Hear that update from him in the Chronicles of the Old West. And then we'll get right into the phone calls, find out what's been happening. There's some news, and we'll tell you all about it exclusively here on WCAB Rutherfordton.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith, filling in for the great Bill O'Reilly. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, a word.
If you are a timeshare owner, you're probably upset that your yearly dues continue to increase. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and done in a specific time frame. They're the only company you can trust, having helped more than 18,000 owners legally and permanently get 7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com.
Mike Slater filling in for Bill O'Reilly. On this Tuesday morning, I am thinking about the Oscars. No one else is thinking about the Oscars because almost no one watched the Oscars. Did you know, less than 10 years ago, 44 million people watched the Oscars. This year, 16 million. So why do so few people watch them? Because it's obvious these people hate you. Rainn Wilson, of all people, he was Dwight in The Office. He tweeted yesterday, he said, I do think there's an anti-Christian bias in Hollywood. As soon as the David character in The Last of Us started reading from the Bible, I knew he was going to be a horrific villain. Could there be a Bible preacher on a show who is actually loving and kind? No, because they hate you. You made them rich, and they hate you. And over time, enough people are going to catch on. Enough people are going to agree with Hugh Grant, who did a red carpet interview at the Oscars, and it was one of the most difficult to watch red carpet interviews ever. The poor lady said, "What's your favorite thing about the Oscars?" No, nothing really. Well, are you excited about anybody winning? No, not really. Okay, well, what are you wearing? My suit. Oh, okay, was it fun to be in The Glass Onion? I was in it for like 3 seconds. Okay, thanks, Hugh. That's it, though. That's about how most Americans feel. I guess 16 million people care, but hopefully soon that'll just get down to 0. More coming up.
No question, there is a concerted effort to intimidate and silence conservative thinkers and replace our God-given individual liberty with big government controls. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in America. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits and all kinds of great content. Please stand with AMAC at amac.us. That's amac.us.
I'm Mike Slater from the Politics by Faith podcast. This has been the O'Reilly Update, Morning Edition. See you tonight.
WCAB, the music's on us. 100.9 FM and 590 AM.
The best of both worlds.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton.
A person doesn't have to be a fan of the Old West to have heard about the OK Corral shootout. There were a number of factors that led up to that event, but one of the more prominent events was a stagecoach robbery. It was March 15, 1881. 7 months before the OK Corral shootout, the stagecoach running between Benson and Tombstone was carrying $26,000 in silver bullion. 3 masked men attempted to rob the stage. In the process, the driver and a passenger were killed. But because the shots caused the stage horses to run, the robbers didn't get the silver. 2 posses took out after the robbers. One included Doc Holliday, Bat Masterson, Virgil Morgan, and Wyatt Earp. The other was led by Sheriff John Behan, Wyatt Earp's rival in love and everything else 2 men full of testosterone could come up with. Wyatt wanted Behan's job as sheriff, and he knew if he captured the robbers, it would assure his election. Wyatt's posse was unable to keep up with the robbers because they got fresh horses. 17 days later, Wyatt's posse returned with exhausted horses. Bat Masterson even had to hitch a ride on a lumber wagon. Upon arrival, Wyatt discovered Behan had arrested one of the robbers, but he had escaped almost as soon as he was locked up. In addition, Big Nose Kate, Doc Holliday's girlfriend, had said Doc was a part of the stagecoach robbery. So upon arrival, Doc was put in jail. The next time we're together, we'll see how things keep escalating until they get beyond everyone's control. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
When my business got bigger, many things changed. My lunches got shorter, more meetings arranged. My budget got bigger, but all that it meant was I cared even more about how it was spent. When I spend it on radio, I see where it goes. My investment comes back, and my business just grows. Radio helps all businesses to grow. Find out how at radioheardhere.com.
Brought to you by this radio station to remind you that radio is heard here. Radio is heard everywhere.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or Jim at 287-3356.
Now it's 7:15. It's time to go to the phones and find out what's been happening. David Butron is on the phone with me now from the Sheriff's Department to fill us in. Good morning. How you doing today?
Good, sir. How are you doing?
Doing great. What's on the report today?
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Office has responded to 173 calls for service. The jail's processed 15 arrests. There's currently 161 incarcerated in the county jail. For incident reports, Tiffany Bussard reported a break and entering and a larceny, and an iPhone was stolen in that incident. Susan Epley reported a financial card theft. For arrest reports, Martin Arsenio Moreno was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, simple possession of a Schedule 6 controlled substance, and a order for arrest for a failure to prevent a misdemeanor. Allison Marie Murray was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of methamphetamine, and simple possession of a Schedule 6 controlled substance. Jerry Darrell Lovelace was charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving while license revoked. Adam Kyle Tipton was served with an order for arrest for a failure to prevent a misdemeanor. Christopher Blake Locke was served with 2 counts of felony probation violations. Michael Scott Moore was served with a felony probation violation and a failure to prevent a misdemeanor. Michael Dylan Toney was served a warrant for a failure to prevent a misdemeanor. Michael William McMahon was served a felony probation violation and possession of methamphetamine. That's all we've got.
David Butron, thank you very much, and you be safe out there today.
Thanks, sir.
See ya. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. And Liz is reporting from 911 Communications Center. Good morning.
Morning.
What's on the report, Nancy?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 347 911 calls and administrative calls, which consists of 56 EMS under Law Enforcement 172 Sheriff's Office, 65 Forest City, 6 Lake Lure, 36 Rutherfordton, and 32 Spindale. Under fire calls, Ellenboro had a structure fire, assisting departments Bostic, Cherry Mountain, Forest City, and Polksville. And Hudlow had a motor vehicle accident, and that is all.
Thanks so much, Lindsay. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new
On calendar, I have a good friend, Miss Elizabeth Biggerstaff, Diane Ramsey, Christine Teal, and Angela Bracken. I hope all these ladies enjoy their day. And let's see, for this Saturday, Piney Knob Baptist Church is having a wild game supper. So they're going to, from what I understand, there's going to be from deer and turkey and bear and probably bologna. And there will also be tame meat, lots of vegetable sides. Starts around 5. Last year it was such a great success. So if you're interested in that, plan on coming to Piney Knob this Saturday, the 18th at 5 p.m. And then on the 19th, they're having their community singing from 3 to 5 p.m. And there will be a love offering. They are our youth is going to summer camp, to Clayton King summer camp, and we're trying to do this kind of as a fundraiser / community event. So that is, again, at Piney Knob Baptist Church this Sunday the 19th from 3 to 5 p.m. And there's a concealed handgun safety course that's going on April 1st at the American Legion Post 74. It'll be at 8 a.m. There is a sign-up sheet at Green Hill Store. The cost is $60, and the instructor is Kevin Lovelace. So if you're interested in getting your concealed handgun certificate, this is a perfect time to do it. Sign-ups at Green Hill Store. Mountain Creek Baptist Church is having their barbecue fundraiser this Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. Adult plates are $12. Kids 6 to 12 is $6, and there's takeout plates available. They're going to have pulled pork barbecue, both red and white slaw, potato salad, hush puppies, and homemade desserts. So if you're in the mood for barbecue, sounds like that's the place to be this Saturday. And White House Community Clubhouse is selling the Boston Butts again this year. You get a Boston butt, a pint of slaw, white or red, and a pint of sauce for $45, and you can get an extra pint of slaw for $3. Pickup will be April 7th between 4 and 6 p.m. The contact number for that is 828-755-4319. And this Friday evening, March 17th, St. Patty's Day, the Desert Sun Band is going to be at White House Community Center at 7 p.m. They are asking everyone to come out and enjoy some good music.
Sounds like things are alive up there.
No, you don't need, no need to leave the community. You can just stay right here in Shingle Hollow, Green Hill, White House area, and just have all kind of activities.
Sounds like a plan.
So, it does. Jim, you have a wonderful day. Eat some pie today. And God bless you all, and stay safe out there.
I'm looking for the pie, and I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
That's Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow this morning. A lot going on up there. 35 minutes past 7.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Locally owned business as well. We try to support our locally owned businesses here in Rutherford County, and I think you should too. 7:36, let's head up to Union Mills, and one of our local stores, local reporters is on the phone with me right now. Brenda, local Kelly. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, Mr. Let's see, Bishop, Jim Bishop?
That's right.
Listen, I didn't get to listen to the coach's comments last night. Do you know anything about what he said?
I did not hear it either. I was
okay.
Tied up other things going on.
Yeah,
I didn't
get it. So it must not been nothing important, or it would have been on the news.
Yeah, they'd have broadcast that big time.
Yeah.
But that was the last show of the season, and last night's Hubert Davis Live.
So, but anyway, there's always the next time.
There's always the next time, yeah.
Yeah. So, boy, they sure matched UNC of Asheville up with what, the number 2 in the nation?
Yes, that's going to be tough for Asheville.
Yeah.
But they may pull it out. You never know.
You never know. There's always an upset, aren't there?
That's right. A lot of surprises in these games.
Oh, yeah. So what's your temperature down there?
We're 28.
Okay. Well, I've got 24 on the front porch, so
Wow.
I'm 4 degrees lower than you.
Well, you stay off that front porch, you'll freeze your toes.
I know it. I'll have to put on a coat and gloves and boots and everything else, won't I?
And you already had your 1 cup of coffee, so you can't.
That's right. I have.
You can't do that.
But anyway, we hope everybody's having a good morning. I don't have any birthdays, any anniversaries, but in ways of announcements, Piedmont Pleasant Hill Clubhouse Spaghetti Supper. This will be Saturday the 18th, and they're going to have a salad bar along with that, and it'll be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Adults is $8. Children 12 to 6 is $4. 5 and under eat for free. And then Saturday, March 18th, Union Mills Learning Center, 6 p.m. They're going to have a hot dog meal, and the cost is $6. 7 p.m., Carly Airwood, and it says, Carly is a Rutherford County native and popular singer, musician, and songwriter. And she's really good, and there's no admission, but they do have tip jar available for the band. And so far, that's all I got going on. So,
Got big plans for the day?
Well, not really. I'll do whatever. Clean in the house, cook a little bit, work on this puzzle I started. It's a daily. This is the worst puzzle I've ever tried to put together.
What is it of?
It's lighthouses all over everywhere, and and the whole border is lighthouses, and then in the center is lighthouses, and it's
Boy, you got more patience than I do.
Well, I'll get her done. It may take me till this time next year, but
Well, that gives you something to go back to every time.
yeah, I don't give up.
Good for you.
I'm just like an old bulldog. I just get in there and hang in there. But you better go down to Ellenburg and check on Luther's Sweet Thing, see if everything's all right down there.
Have fun up there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye. And we will take a trip over to Ellenboro, east of here, to see what's going on.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Hello, Luther Gilligan.
Good morning. I hope you're happy. I hope you're staying warm.
Well, so far, I am, now that I'm inside. Furnace is working fine. I haven't run out of fuel oil, and the thermostat's working good, so I'm okay.
Well, I'll be okay as long as my furnace keeps going.
Yeah, I'm okay. Hope
I
you're
stay
okay.
warm. I'm trying to stay warm drinking, but it's quiet here this morning. Not a whole lot going on. Everybody's just trying to get their gas and head on out for another day at the office. The fire department, they had one medical call, had one structure fire yesterday. Other than that, they quiet this morning. That's going on with them. So, you have a great day, Billy. I'm going to talk to you tomorrow.
Time now for birthdays and anniversaries. You can call us at 287-3356. We've cleared the phone lines for you, and Lou's standing by to take those birthday calls and anniversaries calls for the 14th day of March. Month almost half over. March 14th birthdays and anniversaries can be called in to us now. Well, we take a trip over to Spindale to Granny B's and look through the donut section there and find out all those delicious daylight donuts. And look up on the wall, you see a long selection of subs that you can order any way you want to. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a bunch of them, and you can tell them what you want inside it. Get your bag of chips and a cup of tea. Sit around one of those corner tables, and all's right with the world. Granny B's, great place to have lunch, great place to have a snack, great place to take some food to the office with you today, including those donuts. Main Street, Spindale, right next to the Shake Shop, a few doors up from Lakeside Mills.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday wishes going on to David Grayson over in Rutherfordton. David, have a happy birthday. And Delano Smith of Golden Valley, also happy birthday to you. And James Allen works with Ultimate Textiles, lives in Rutherfordton, turns big 58 today, so happy birthday to James. I don't know if it's Delano or Delano. I think it might be Delano Smith and David Grayson. Happy birthday. Many, many more. That comes up Feast of Comfort Living. And we'll take you down memory lane with some classic oldies.
Winston Churchill, in the wake of Hitler's attack upon England during World War II, said, "Will the bombing attacks of last autumn and winter come again? We have proceeded on the assumption that they will. We ask no favors of the enemy. Prepare yourselves then."
to her house to get vital medications.
She left it behind because she was in a rush to leave.
The storms have dealt a major blow to a major agricultural area. Many seasonal farm workers now facing more hardship with flooding. Farm losses for the state already estimated at $330 million, and that's before today's storm hits.
On the East Coast, it is rain in the New York City area and snow further north in the Boston area, courtesy of a late season nor'easter. We'll find out new numbers on inflation this hour when the government releases year-over-year inflation rates. Those numbers used to set interest rates by the Fed, says ABC Chief Business Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis.
What happens to interest rates? The Fed, as we know, has been hiking interest rates to lower inflation. That's made borrowing more expensive, those payments on your credit cards more expensive. It's also been an issue at the regional banks right now. As rates go higher, they face more troubles.
Among those regional banks affected by recent interest rate hikes, Silicon Valley and Signature, both of them now shut down. Fast Company contributor and financial author James Serwicki with more on the run on both those banks.
Part of what's happening is just the way a kind of panic can feed a little bit on itself. In theory, at least, the measures that the Biden administration took should really sort of ameliorate most of the problems that investors are seeing at these regional banks.
The White House assuring Americans that tax dollars are not being used on money for depositors in those banks. The White House saying people who put money in SVB and Signature will be able to get all of it back out. You're listening to ABC News.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Indicted in Mexico, the 5 cartel members accused in the killings of 2 Americans after a group of 4 were kidnapped. And, says ABC's Jim Ryan, this is an anniversary.
It was March 14th, 1989, 34 years ago today, that University of Texas student Mark Kilroy, on spring break with friends, crossed the bridge from Brownsville, Texas into Matamoros. His mutilated body would be found buried on a remote ranch along with 14 others. As for the killers,
they just must be possessed by the devil. That would be the only explanation for what they did.
The 15 victims had been mutilated as part of satanic rituals. Mark Kilroy's mother, Helen, said at the time,
I prayed for all of them.
Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
North Carolina police holding a man on over $1 million bond accused of kidnapping a 13-year-old girl that he had lured from her home in Texas. ABC's Lana Moise says they met online.
The FBI Violent Crime Task Force in Texas coordinated with the sheriff in Davidson County, North Carolina, quickly zeroing in on where they believed she was. Finding the teen locked in this green shed, the property owner saying she had no idea someone was in her shed.
I never see her inside my house, on the camera. I didn't know she was even here.
This case, another example of the rising problem of human trafficking.
And a fight over laundry. New proposed rules from the Biden administration would require that washing machines use less water. Critics say it will leave your clothes less clean. This is ABC News.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
We are going to see a lot of sunshine today with below normal temperatures in the mid 40s and mid 50s. Those winds are going to be gusty out of the northwest, and that could increase the fire danger risk for today because we have low relative humidity in place. By tonight, leading into tomorrow morning, a freeze warning is in effect. We will see those temperatures in the mid 20s and lower 30s. That's going to impact any sensitive crops, and the highs for tomorrow will reach the mid 50s and lower 60s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And currently right now we are 28 degrees and sunny skies are coming sometime today with highs near 47 degrees. And wind gust highs 27. That freeze warning still in effect until 11 o'clock this morning. And it changes a little bit. And we'll have some warmer weather. Breeze is still going to be with us for a while. So be warming up toward Friday. Get showers coming on Friday with highs near 63. So weather is crazy. We'll have a little bit of all of it this week, I believe. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, Andrew Tisdale Day here in the Blue Room, and he'll be with us in just a moment.
Too much of a good thing isn't always a good thing, like too many sprays of cologne, too many loops in a roller coaster, or too many rescue cats. But you can never have too many chances to win. That's why new Multiply the Cash scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have more chances to win than ever before. With chances to multiply your win on the front and back, too much is just right. Easy, kitty. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.24 to 4.83. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
We all sometimes need a towing service. Bad weather, or you just get stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire, or even worse. Call on Tri-City Towing Services of Darrell Burnett. Towing services for big trucks as well as cars and SUVs. He has a rollback service to get you safely to a garage. With years of experience, you're in good hands with Tri-City Towing. Put this number in your phone, 828-305-7707. That's 305-7707. Have it handy when you need it. Remember the name, Tri-City Towing, 1101 West Main Street in Forest City.
It's 8:07 here on this Tuesday morning, terrific Tuesday morning. Although it is cold outside, it's warm inside. And we all have our sweaters on this morning, so we're nice and cozy. And Andrew Tisdale is in the Blue Room with me right now to talk about something. Hey, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there with the banks and the monies. Reassure us that everything's okay.
Well, I know that my bank's still open.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to go by there yesterday, and I took some money out to go pay a bill, so that bank's still open. Here's something we haven't talked about before. Talked about precious metals, gold and silver. With a lot of this that's going on, there's actually really good opportunities out there for bonds, for some stocks, and even precious metals. And so we've talked about bonds and stocks before, even CD rates. Let's talk a little bit about precious metals. So what is the purpose of precious metals? Well, there's either one or two things. It's either insurance or investment. People who buy the precious metals are going to either try to insure some of their wealth, or they're going to buy it for an investment, and hopefully the value will go up and they'll be able to sell it. So here's some things that we got to look out for when we're investing in precious metals. Is one, be on your guard against gold fever. History is filled with stories of people who got gold fever. That means they were scammed. So here's one in 1997 called the Bre-X gold mining fraud. An initial private offering at 30 cents a share jumped up to more than $250 on the open market. Companies like J.P. Morgan, the Lehman Brothers, Fidelity Investments, Invesco Funds, and other companies jumped in believing that this was one of the top ways to make money in gold. Well, guess what happened? The project manager was tampering with some core samples, and mysteriously he vanished.
Mm-hmm.
Another one was Tyler Gallagher. He was recently CEO of Regal Assets, a company that lets customers convert their retirement accounts into metals like gold and silver. He claimed that the program was a hedge against downturns in stock market and inflation, and what you hear a lot about in gold and silver. Well, guess what? He also just disappeared. People did, trusted him, put their money in it, and they never got their gold. So here's what I want to encourage everybody who's thinking about investing in gold. There's two ways safely to invest it. One, be able to hold it in your hand. If you're going to buy it in your hand, or use a a mutual fund or a exchange traded fund that actually tracks it, because you can buy and sell them at market price. What about if I want to buy it on and hold it in my hand? Here's some places to look out. Stay away from Facebook, Marketplace, things like that. If you're going to buy it from a reputable dealer, because a lot of times the things on Facebook, Marketplace, or Craigslist, or places like that, you don't really know if that's real gold. If you buy it from a reputable dealer, that is real stuff. Also, don't get too crazy with it, because as we all know, diversification is good, but don't bet the farm on. And in today's market, why could gold be a decent, or silver or platinum or palladium, why could it be a good investment, is because right now central banks are loading up on that, which is increasing the demand. So as the demand goes up, if you have gold in hand, look at a good time maybe to sell, or if you are looking for gold, go to a reputable dealer and look for that.
That's good. Some recent cures of some folks who got swindled by in unwise investment is a good example of why it pays to know somebody local like you.
Pay somebody, yep, reputable.
That's right.
Reputable. And, watch out for the, I know I get them, everybody gets them, you get calls about, buy this gold and buy that silver, and even oil explorations and things like that. It's always good to trust that person that you're going to know. We don't want to get scammed.
Hard to buy something from somebody on television.
It is.
I want to be able to look at a guy right in the face and the eyeball and say, tell me the honest truth about this. And
it's kind of like, it's hard for me to pay my tithe to somebody on television, too.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Everything going well?
It's doing great. It's doing great. We've got a big ball game tonight, RS and East play. It's going to be cold, so I encourage everybody to bundle up that's coming and maybe bring your own coffee or
Shouldn't have to play baseball in cold weather like this. This is football weather.
It is football weather, but 2 weeks ago I was in here in short sleeve shirts. That's right. It's just March.
That's right.
Just March.
Crazy March.
That's right.
Everything else okay then?
It's my pleasure to be here, and I just can't wait to come back.
So we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
I'll see you.
All right. I'll be back in just a moment. All right, let's go. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Lou won't know if I had something going. I just had the mic off, chit-chatting with Andrew before we walked out the door. Hard to talk with somebody with the mic on. But anyway, got some stories here of importance. News from here or there. Another drug bust and arrest in Ellenboro. A domestic call Sunday led to a drug seizure and 2 trafficking arrests. Rutherford County Sheriff's deputies responded to 1543 Race Path Church Road in reference to a domestic situation. While on the scene, deputies observed a large quantity of suspected pressed fentanyl pills. Assisted by Forest City Police, the Sheriff's Narcotics Unit executed a search warrant of the residence and recovered 292.2 grams, that's approximately 1,400 pills of fentanyl, 1.3 grams of methamphetamine, drug paraphernalia, and $2,685 cash, according to the Sheriff's Office. Arrested were Braxton Kelly Atkins, 22, and Kimberly Johnson Atkins, 46, both of Ellenboro. Both were charged with trafficking opium or heroin possession, along with other drug-related charges. Braxton Atkins was given a $750,000 secured bond. Kimberly Atkins received $765,000 secured bond. In separate cases, deputies recently on patrol stopped a car on Oak Street near College Avenue. While the stop was for operating a motor vehicle without a driver's license, the driver, Tisha Michelle Suttles, 41 of Forest City, was found to be in possession of about 234 grams of methamphetamine, 6 grams of marijuana, and 260 dosage units of other drugs. And $7,119 in cash. We told you about that story yesterday. Suttles was arrested on February 26 for trafficking methamphetamine along with other drug charges. She was jailed under a $30,000 secured bond. Another big drug arrest there. Keep up the good work, guys. Well, the Daily Courier is reporting, sort of written by Pat Job, when the county's new Veterans Center opens, it will be named for Master Sergeant Jerry Crump, the only Rutherford County recipient of the Medal of Honor. According to his medal citation, quote, when a hostile soldier hurled a grenade, Corporal Crump immediately flung himself over the missile, absorbing the blast with his body and saving his comrades from death or serious injury, end quote. Even prior to that act, Crump had killed or wounded a number of enemy soldiers who had overwhelmed a friendly position on what the Army called Hill 284 during the Korean War. Crump killed 2 enemy combatants with his bayonet as they tried to secure a machine gun from the U.S. Army position. Crump reclaimed the machine gun, and his bravery inspired his comrades to repel the enemy force that outnumbered the U.S. troops. For that incident, on September 6, 1951, he received the Medal of Honor, the highest recognition by the U.S. military for bravery in combat. According to Ken McGinnis, who currently hosts the Rutherford County Farm Museum, Crump was a childhood friend of his who went to Alexander Grammar School and Cool Springs High School. McGinnis said, quote, he was just a great guy, always friendly and smiling. I spent a lot of time with him and his twin brother, Harry. His mama was real nice, too. She'd greet you at the door and tell you to come on in and get something to eat. His niece, Carol McCord, who now lives in Rutherford, said her uncle was the same jovial, friendly guy who never wanted to talk about the medal or his service in the war. I never saw the medal except in pictures, McCord recalled. He never talked about the incident that won him the medal or his service. So, good honor. The Veterans Memorial in Cornelius features a statue of Crump holding a rifle and wearing a helmet. Retired Lieutenant General Tom Washcombe, Crump's son-in-law, narrates the video and calls Crump a hero of mine. Crump served in the U.S. Army for 26 years and retired a Master Sergeant. Congratulations. Well, PCA Packaging Corporation of America is shutting the Rutherfordton plant for good. Over the past few weeks, this is the third major employer in Rutherford County that has announced it is closing its doors. PCA will officially shut down its local facility April 21st. According to Rutherford County Economic Development Director Birgit Dilgert, this will affect a total of 38 employees. Officials from Rutherford County Economic Development, the local NC Works office, and the Isothermal Community College representatives as part of Rapid Response Team will be meeting with employees at PCA next week to discuss options, opportunities, and a way forward regarding future employment and possible job training. PCA is a manufacturer of corrugated boxes. Dilgert said the company did not offer specific reasons for the shutdown. Milligan announced in February that its Rutherford County textile factory in Yola Valley will be closing. Also in April, this will affect 103 employees, though some are expected to take jobs at other Milligan locations. Freightworks Trucking in Rutherfordton, which operates 186 trucks and had 140 drivers, also announced its closing last week. Not all of these drivers were Rutherford County based. Dilgert says these announcements are clearly a blow to the local economy, but does not necessarily represent a trend. These are three very different situations in three different economic sectors, Dilgert said. According to Dilgert, the Milligan factory had issues with aging equipment and machinery that needed to be replaced, but because of supply chain issues, it would have been several years before that could happen. Freightworks cited a freight industry recession and other economic pressures that led to its abrupt closing. Officials agree that the economy, while improving, remains fragile. Rutherford County Commission Chairman Brian King said, quote, it is my belief that our economy is a fragmented, fragile state. While some are seeing improvements, others are not. The impact of inflationary pressures, supply chain limitations, and the federal decision on interest rates are placing many individuals and companies in a difficult economic position like we haven't seen since the Great Recession of 2008. Rutherford County Manager Steve Garrison agrees that it is concerning any time there is a business or industry closure, but he also points out that Rutherford County may be in a better position to absorb some of these new jobs losses than previously. Garrison said Monday we have a severe worker shortage in Rutherford County, which means that we have the ability to absorb these losses. We have a large number of public sector and private sector employers, such as the school system, local governments, commercial real estate establishment, and industries manufacturers, who pay above the median income and offer benefits, but they are struggling to recruit new employees. Garrison said he's pleased that the rapid response team is involved with assisting the affected employees, and they're discovering that many of the employees are already transitioning into new job opportunities. There will be a job fair event planned for April 20th at ICC. And Garrison said it's clear that the continued national inflation and supply chain issues continue to erode the fiscal capacity of private sector and public sector employees. It is critical that our national leaders prioritize correcting these issues. Steve Garrison. Well, a shooting occurred Friday night, March 10th, at a Polk County residence that claimed the life of Talia Pretoria, 27, of Tryon. She was pronounced dead at Spartanburg Regional Hospital. Pretoria was a 2014 graduate of Polk County High School and graduated from UNC Charlotte in 2022. She was employed at Harper Eatery and Pub in downtown Tryon. According to Pretoria's mother, Julie Daniels, Pretoria was allegedly shot by her boyfriend, Tyler Lauder, who she said claims that the incident allegedly occurred while he was cleaning a firearm. Daniels alleges that the relationship between Lauder and Pretoria had a history of domestic violence. Detective Huckabee with PCSO said that all the evidence currently point to the incident being accidental and that criminal charges will be pending. The shooting is under investigation by the Sheriff's Office in Polk County. An autopsy was scheduled for in the morning. Anyone with information regarding the shooting should call Polk County's Sheriff's Office at 828-894-3001 and ask to speak to Detective Huckabee. This is a developing story, and the Tron Daily Bulletin will update coverage as more information becomes available. And that's where I obtained the story from this morning, the Tron Daily Bulletin. 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report with Deputy Butron coming up in just a moment.
Matt Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Rutherfordton has been a family business since 1953, offering care, dignity, honor, and unique opportunities for families to create a healing moment after a loss. John McMahon and his fine staff bring experience coupled with perspective to help in paying tribute in a traditional or unique way. Call 287-4715 or visit online today at www.mattmahansfuneralhome.com. There, you can view current obituary information or pre-plan for yourself or loved ones. Matt Mahan's Funeral Home offers healing to the community through burial and cremation services, grief support, whether it's a funeral or a memorial service. Matt Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services knows the importance of ceremony and will guide you in honoring the life and memories of your loved one. Call Matt Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services today at 287-4715 or visit them at 249 South Main Street in Rutherfordton.
Here's Deputy Butron.
In the past 24 hours, Sheriff's Office has responded to 173 calls for service. The jail's processed 15 arrests. There's currently 161 incarcerated in the county jail. For incident reports, Tiffany Bussard reported a break and entering and a larceny, and an iPhone was stolen in that incident. Susan Epley reported a financial card theft. For arrest reports, Martin Arsenio Moreno was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, simple possession of a Schedule 6 controlled substance, and a order for arrest for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Allison Marie Murray was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of methamphetamine, and simple possession of a Schedule 6 controlled substance. Jerry Darrell Lovelace was charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving while license revoked. Adam Kyle Tipton was served with an order for arrest for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Christopher Blake Locke was served with 2 counts of felony probation violations. Michael Scott Moore was served with a felony probation violation and a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Michael Dylan Toney was served a warrant for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Michael William McMahon was served a felony probation violation and possession of methamphetamine. That's all we've got.
NCN Sports, I'm Nate Saunders. The NCAA men's basketball tournament technically begins tonight with the play-in games. Southeast Missouri State will face Texas A&M Corpus Christi at 6:30 p.m. The winner will be the 16 seed that plays number 1 Alabama. Then at 9 p.m., Pitt takes on Mississippi State, with the winner advancing as the number 11 that will face number 6 Iowa State. In the first round on Thursday night, number 5 Duke will take on number 12 Oral Roberts, and number 15 UNC Asheville plays number 2 UCLA. NC State gets Creighton on Friday afternoon. Alabama is number 1 in the final AP Top 25 men's college basketball poll of the season. Houston is number 2, and Big Ten champion Purdue was 3rd. The Big 12 rounded out the top 5 with Kansas and Texas. Memphis and Florida Atlantic broke into the final top 25 at the expense of Creighton and Kentucky. Bad news for the Carolina Hurricanes. Forward Andrei Svechnikov has been ruled out indefinitely with a knee injury. The team says he injured it during Saturday night's loss to Vegas. He's one of the team leaders on offense with 55 points and 23 goals this season. Carolina has been outscored 7-0 in its last 2 games. They host the Winnipeg Jets tonight at PNC Arena. The next domino fell in the NFL quarterback free agency market. Jimmy Garoppolo is headed to the Raiders. The former San Francisco 49er has signed a 3-year, $67.5 million deal with Vegas, reuniting him with coach Josh McDaniels, who was the offensive coordinator in New England when Jimmy G was there as Tom Brady's backup. And Jose De Leon and 3 relievers combined to pitch a perfect game as Puerto Rico routed Israel 10-0 in a World Baseball Classic matchup called after 8 innings because of the tournament's 10-run mercy rule. Axel Rios said when Diaz and Dwayne Underwood Jr. closed out the first perfect game in WBC history. I'm Nate Saunders. You're listening to NCN Sports.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. They are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
Join PBS North Carolina as we explore the world around us through stories that illuminate and moments that inspire. From PBS favorites like Masterpiece to local programs that celebrate our state and people. From educational resources for kids to emergency briefings that keep us secure. PBS North Carolina offers endless possibilities for discovery and wonder. Follow your curiosity at pbsnc.org.
Trevor Bauer has agreed to a contract with the Yokohama Dena Bay Stars of Japan's Central League. The 2020 NL Cy Young Award winner with the Cincinnati Reds was released by the Los Angeles Dodgers on January 12th, 3 weeks after an arbitrator reduced his suspension imposed by Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred from 324 to 194 games. The penalty followed an investigation into domestic violence, which the pitcher has denied. Bauer is owed about $22.5 million from the remainder of his $102 million 3-year contract with the Dodgers. The suspension has cost him roughly $37.5 million in salary. Tonight in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers visit the Charlotte Hornets. The tip-off happens at 7 p.m. I'm Nate Saunders. You're listening to NCN Sports.
We are going to see a lot of sunshine today with below normal temperatures in the mid-40s and mid-50s. Those winds are going to be gusty out of the northwest, and that could increase the fire danger risk for today because we have low relative humidity in place. By tonight, leading into tomorrow morning, a freeze warning is in effect. We will see those temperatures in the mid-20s and lower 30s. That's going to impact any sensitive crops, and the highs for tomorrow will reach the mid-50s and lower 60s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, we have not warmed up much at all since the sun came up and got clear right there. We're 28 still. We started out 29, dropped to 28. That's where we are right now. But we should be climbing soon to a high near 47 with northwest wind 9 to 70 miles per hour with gusts as high as 27 miles per hour. Keep in mind that freeze warning is in effect until 11 this morning. So with these temperatures, that's why. Then tonight, clearing lows around 25 with wind gusts as high as 21. So it's getting a little bit better as the week rolls on. But right today, it's cold, cold, cold out there.
It's cold.
How cold?
Well, just go outside.
That's when you know it's for real.
We're helping you survive the winter. WCAB.
It's 8:30. Hey, listen, I've got some in my hand, some free tickets. Now, let me explain it to you. There's a monster truck show up in Morganton coming up March 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Horsepower Park, and I've got some free tickets. But let me explain to you. The tickets are a little bit misleading if you first sight, but these are free tickets. It's a $15 value. Admit one child, 3 to 13, with a paid adult. Now, these tickets are free tickets for the kids from 3 to 13, but have to come in with a paid adult. So there'll be a free pit party, ride in the real monster truck, human cannonball, motorcycle madness, free pit party and kids fun zone. It starts 2 hours prior to the show. It's in Morganton, March 24th, 25th, and 26th at Horsepower Park. That is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday is 2 o'clock, and again it's 7 o'clock, and Sunday is 2 o'clock. If you'd like to have some of these tickets, I've got a handful here. But keep in mind now, the free tickets are for children ages 3 to 13. Adults have to pay the full price, and I'm not sure what that full price is. To be honest with you, it doesn't say. But if you want to go and pay the ticket, there's a phone number you can call to find out more about it. But if you want to go and get your kiddos in free, then I've got some tickets for it. If you want to go, and I'll give you, right, as long as they last, I'll give you all you need, 4, 5, 6 tickets, because I got a handful of them. And everybody don't have kids that young to get these free tickets. But if you get kids, want to go, these tickets are free, child 3 through 13. Adults above 13 have to pay the full price of that. I'm not sure what it is. But if you'd like to go, I've got some tickets. Just come on by here and ask for the tickets, and you can get as many as you want. I guess I've probably got maybe 25, 30. So get as many as you need for your family, your friends, and go enjoy the Truck Monster Show. All right. With that said, I just want to make sure that I helped you understand that these are not free tickets, although it says free ticket at the top of the ticket. They're not free tickets, but in small print, it says $15 value. Admit one child, 3 to 13, with paid adult. It's kind of like those TV ads. These TV ads, you order this, whatever scraper they order, and get a second one by paying a separate cost. From the small letters down there, make you think you're getting a second one free, but you're not. Anyway, that's a trick of advertising. Sometimes they do it. But anyway, they're yours if you'd like to go. And remember, the show is 24th, 25th, and 26th. My Great America with Jim and Butch is 9:05 this morning. Right now, let's cover some other stories. Weather is one of the things people are talking about and wondering about the vegetation and the fruit. Well, WSPA is doing a story, says with recent warmer weather, farmers have been eager to harvest their springtime crops, but they're struggling with the big changes in temperature. With a freeze warning issued for last night, farmers said they're taking steps to protect their crops. Owner of Winslet's produce market, Jamie Winslet, said everything we do is up to the weather. It affects what we bring in. We saw the weather forecast and slowed down what we were bringing in. This week, there should have been one of the heavy weeks of bringing product in. Not all crops will take a hit. With this freezing temperature, farmers said their cold crops will be just fine, such as collards and turnip greens and broccoli. They'll be just fine. However, many farmers worry about their spring crops, which could be affected or even killed by the cold temperature. Peaches, strawberries, and things like that have started blooming out, and they're concerned a little bit about how that's going to work out. Farmers all around said they are covering their produce to protect them from the cold, but they're hopeful the sunshine will stick around. Soon, when the weather warms up, they will know more about it and see what's going to take. Hopefully, the peaches will not be hurt this way. We don't need any extremely high prices on our peaches, or we might have to go do away with our peach ice cream or peach pie and those kind of things. All right, it's 8:34. Many of you know, those who have been listening to this program a long time, know that I am a real. I really don't care. I'll just try to put it now. I really do not care for Jane Fonda. Hanoi Jane. You remember back during the Vietnam War, how she went over there and hugged around on the enemy, sat on their tanks, and talked about and cursed the U.S. soldiers because we were there, cut down our country, and really she became an enemy of America by fraternizing with the enemy that we were fighting. Got pictures of her hugging up on these guys, and she's not been a friend of America. But anyway, she's back out making movies again. But she was on one of the TV shows, The View. It's one of those TV shows where the women that sit around and talk about things they don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, she was on there for some reason, was allowed to make an appearance on Disney-owned ABC daytime show The View. As Hanoi Jane was railing against the sanctity of life, she called for murder against pro-life politicians. I kid you not, folks. I've got it in print. I saw the clip just to make sure that this was not typo, make sure the POTUS papers were not just writing something. I went to the clip and saw and heard her say pro-life politicians could be murdered. We have experienced many decades now of having agency over our body, of being able to determine when and how many children to have. We know what that feels like. We know what that's done for our lives, Fonda said. We're not going back. I don't care what the laws are. We're not going back, end quote. Well, co-host Sunny Hostin smiled as she said, that's the activist. And co-host Joy Behar was heard responding, that's Jane. Hostin said, she probably will get a Nobel Prize. It's the truth. It is the truth, Fonda said. We're going to fight. Behar then asked, what can we do? Fonda said, well, I've thought of murder. Grace and Frankie co-star Lily Tomlin asked her to repeat herself. What's that? You said what? Murder, Fonda said again as the reliable liberal panel burst into laughter. Murder pro-life people is what she's saying. Behar said hastily before motioning, she's just kidding. Wait a second. They'll pick up on that and just run with it. She's just kidding. But Fonda wasn't clearly. She was not kidding and did not correct herself and say she was kidding. She gave Behar a long stare that created even more uncomfortable laughter, making it unclear whether Fonda was still joking. Host Sunny Hostin then jumped in and switched topics. When Jane Fonda calls for pro-life politicians to be murdered on national television. And people paying good money to go see her in the movies? Not me, my friends. I would not spend a dime on anything Jane Fonda has anything to do with. I'm still obsessed with the fact that she was so mean to our American soldiers during the Vietnam War. And I wasn't even in Vietnam. I was in during the Vietnam War. I was not in Vietnam, but to see those pictures, her in the helmet of the enemy, and criticizing America, criticizing the American soldier, and criticizing the American government, and calling them all kinds of names, baby killers and things like that. And she gets praise and glory and honor for it, and people pay good money to go watch her in a movie. Not me, not this old boy. Calling for murder. Now, if that had been flipped side, if some conservative had said that about a liberal, we just ought to murder that person. Oh, man, it'd be uproar from every newspaper, every TV station, every radio commentary that's liberal. Oh, it'd be terrible, terrible, terrible. But let Jane Fonda say, they just sort of laugh at it, giggle at it. Oh, well, that's Jane. That's Fonda. She'll probably get an award for it. Well, that's what's out there, folks. And that's what the TV stations like The View and The Talk are allowing these people to spew out this garbage. And people in the audience just applaud, yay, 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 yay. And then people at home watching it, yay, yay, yay. Must be okay. They're all applauding for her. Well, we got to get our own sense of thinking about these things. We can't listen to the Joy Behars and the Jane Fondas of the world and expect our country to be any better. And here's something else that we need to think about. I think we need to think about. There's a Christian school in Kansas City. Christian school, I'll put that in quotations. Christian school in Kansas City gets woke with LGBTQIA plus messaging, and they get woke and they go broke. Yeah, private Christian school in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, has learned the hard way that alienating donors with divisive ideology posturing can lead to bad outcome. The Urban Christian Academy in Kansas City is closing its doors at the end of the school year after losing 80% of its funding due to its adoption of LGBTQ1A IA plus affirming messages. The acronym LGBTQ1A, I guess it's LGBTQIA, stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and or questioning, intersex, asexual, aromatic, agender. That's what that LGBTQIA stands for. UCA, Urban Christian Academy, is a private K-8 Christian school with an enrollment of 100 students, providing a tuition-free, rigorous, and equitable education, according to its website. The school's troubles began early last year after it amended its long mission statement to include a paragraph that read in part, the school, Christian school, amended its mission statement and read in part, "We are an affirming school. We stand with the LGBTQIA plus community and believe," this is what gets me, "and believe in their holiness. We celebrate the diversity of God's creation in all its varied and beautiful form." Well, let me ask you, if it's pleasing with God, when He created the earth, when He created Adam and Eve, why didn't He go ahead and create the gays and the lesbians and the folks who don't understand if they're boys or girls? I mean, why didn't He say, okay, there's Adam, you're a man, Eve's a woman, y'all two together, y'all have two boys. Now over here, I'm gonna create somebody that don't understand what kind of sex they are, and I'm gonna point somebody over here that's a lesbian, and I'm point a queer over here, and all these other LGBTQ. He didn't do that. God didn't do that. He appointed man and woman. Man and woman, not queer, gays, and lesbians and all those other things. He did not do that. Now this Christian school is saying they believe in the holiness, and they celebrate the diversity of God's creation in all its varied and beautiful forms. The main page of the Christian school's website now proclaims, quote, "We are a proudly affirming school," with the word affirming spelled out in rainbow colors. Now who's leading this school, I'm wondering? Critics argue that LGBTQ plus and gender-affirming ideology leads to moral confusion and does nothing to provide a basic education for children or help them move up to an economic ladder. Donations began to drop off immediately when they went this way, with 8 churches withdrawing their support over the ensuing months. Kaylee Calloway George, UCA's executive director and co-founder, said the school had expected a backlash over the LGBTQIAXYZ affirming language, but not a total collapse of financial support. Well, duh. It was just that we anticipated a 50% loss in funding and made adjustments for that, she said, but we had an 80% loss in funding, and that was too much to overcome, so they're having to close their doors. Now, what does that tell them? UCA was financially crushed after most members of the 8 churches stopped donating. "We lost our network of donors," Calloway George told ABC News. In December of 2021, right before we publicly supported the LGBTQ community, we raised $333,985. 1 year later, after we had posted on our website and made a stance, December of 2020, we raised $14,809. $333,985 down to $14,809. They can't function like that. They can't function with that kind of fundraiser. The school shared with ABC News messages from several churches and individuals who ended their financial assistance. A letter from one church reportedly characterized the LGBTQ1A plus community as a diverse collection of behaviors and explained, our greatest concern about the accepting and affirming stance is that it denies the biblical definition of sin and identity and thereby renders the grace of God meaningless. Yay for these churches. A message from one individual read, quote, do not call yourself a Christian school if you are affirming sin. Jesus died to set us free from sin, not so we can die in it. You abuse kids by telling them sin is good, you're wicked, end quote. That's what one message from one supporter of the school said. You're telling them sin is good? You're wicked. Another declared, quote, by teaching them tolerance and acceptance and even to celebrate the gay lifestyle, you're setting them on a course to embrace the world and anti-God philosophy, end quote. Even though the school's embrace of LGBTQ ideology resulted in its demise, Callaway George still reportedly maintains, quote, it was the right thing to do and has no regrets, end quote. Now, I suspect she'll be looking for a job somewhere, or he'll be looking for a job somewhere, or it will be looking for a job somewhere. I'm not sure what she or he is, but she said the essence of Christian faith is promoting and offering love. Yeah. Rob Phillips of the Missouri Baptist Convention, a network of 1,800 churches in the state, had a different view, telling ABC News to embrace desires and behaviors that are outside of Scripture is not ultimately loving and caring, end quote. So there you go. That's how that one Christian school is now going defunct because they're going against the Christian principles on which they were founded. It's 8:46, so I'll be back in just a moment.
You already know Tri-City Tire Service is your complete and professional auto service, offering services in brakes, alignments, tune-ups, oil changes, inspections, lift kits, and of course a complete tire service. But did you know they also have tires for commercial, farm tractors, ATVs, and they also carry mowers, power equipment by Red Max. Tri-City Tire Service is located at 221 Daniel Road in Forest City. Give them a call at 828-287-8778. Tri-City Tire Service, your local tire and auto service center. Hungry? Lunchtime, dinner time, anytime is a good time to stop in at Gregory's Original Restaurant. Choose from fresh delicious burgers, fries, sandwiches, pasta dishes, fresh salads, grinders, and so much more. All orders are prepared fresh and to perfection. Open Monday through Friday, 11 till 9, Saturdays, noon till 9, closed on Sundays. Call in or carry out, 828-287-2171. Located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton, and DoorDash delivery is available. Fast and friendly service. That's Gregory's Original Restaurant. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.